Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your
stuck in behind, Desi in the middle, Pulisic scores!
Photo News Fix. This fix is brought to you once again by Wirestock, and it's still the easiest way to sell your photos, videos, and vectors online. It's simple. You upload your photos or videos to Wirestock, they tag and keyword them for you, and then distribute them for sale on the largest stock websites like Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, Pond5, and now Getty Images and iStock Photos. You do all this from one single free account, no subscription fees or flat fees. When you sell something, Wirestock takes 15% and you get the rest. So far, out of the 3,600 plus people who have signed up with my link, they've had 70,000 downloads and generated over $30,000 in sales. To sign up for free right now, head on over to bit.ly/wirefro322. First up, Fujifilm has apologized directly to me. Scratch that, they actually haven't, but they've apologized for the short supply of some of their film. Last week on their Japanese website, Fujifilm said, due to the shortage of raw materials, supply, and demand for color negative film 135 size and reversal film 135 size are expected to be tight for the time being. We sincerely apologize for any inconvenience caused to our customers. The films affected by this are Fujicolor 100 negative, Superior Premium 400 color negative, Fujichrome Velvia
Thank you, Velveeta.
50, Velvia 100, and Provia 100F slide. Honestly, who cares what film stock you use these days anyway? You're just gonna scan it, put a preset on it, then post it on Instagram with the note that it's shot on film, as if telling us it's shot on film somehow makes it better than photos taken another way. Just because you tell the world it's shot on film doesn't make up for your terribly exposed, composed, or all-around terrible photos. Just like me saying facts after I make all of these statements doesn't make it fact. Or does it?
A fact!
Fact. Fine. It's a fact because I said it.
A flat fact.
I love how people tell me film is doing great and that sales are up. Sure, but compared to what, 5 years ago? What about 50 years ago? What about 20 years ago? Then I counter with, it's like saying that vinyl sales are up, and then someone says, well, they are. They're selling more vinyl than CDs. Well, no shit! Who's buying CDs? If you're buying CDs, you're a moron. Facts.
Fact is a term demanding an equal
The moral of the story is, I'm not angry, you're angry. And if you're one of the 12 people shooting Fujifilm still, 12! Maybe you should go order some film. Next up, the LEICA store in San Francisco was robbed at gunpoint in broad daylight, and the robbers got away with $178,000 in camera equipment, and that means you're saying that someone stole one camera.
How dare you?
What? You know you're thinking it. Don't yell at me for being the one who actually verbalized it, because you had it in your mind too.
One!
Anyway, there was no word on how many cameras or what exactly was stolen, but they did cost $20,000 in damage to those glass cases. Jesus, what are those cases made of? Leica glass or something?
Insurance will pay.
From the surveillance footage, you can see 3 perpetrators exit a car, and one of them points what looks to be, yep, that looks like it's a gun. And a few minutes later, the damage was done, the cameras were stolen, and thankfully, nobody was hurt. San Francisco has been in the news a lot lately as more and more photographers are having their gear stolen right on the streets or from their cars or in many other different ways. And is there anything that you can do to prevent this? Question mark?
Who typed a question mark?
Actually, yeah, don't go to San Francisco, period.
I left my heart.
Facts. So will Leica ever get their gear back?
No.
Probably not. Now is where people start yelling that camera companies need to do more to prevent theft by adding remote kill switches. And then I say the thing that most of you are thinking, but don't want to actually say, that that's a stupid idea. One, that just kills the camera and you'll still never get it back. But Jared, but that will stop people from stealing cameras in the first place in the future. No, it won't. And two, you're too cheap to pay for whatever the monthly cost is to keep that thing active so that you can actually kill the camera when it's time to kill the camera. Fact.
It's not quotes, facts.
Anyway, the other moral of the story is be careful out there. Speaking of theft, have you checked out the latest FroKnowsPhoto Raw Talk podcast that we put out every Friday? If you haven't done so yet, head on over to FroKnowsPhoto.com/podcast, where you can check out all the past episodes, or go wherever you get your podcasts and listen to FroKnowsPhoto Raw Talk. It's out on Friday. And finally, Canon Rumors is reporting that a known source with a very good but not perfect track record has shared information and specs of a forthcoming R5 Mark II. Now, as a reminder, remember, this is just a rumor, and if it doesn't actually come true, don't get upset at Canon because they didn't create the rumor, or did they? Facts. I don't know why I'm saying facts. There goes the money truck. Bye, money truck. Now, I guess it does make sense to think that an R5 II is on its way after the R6 II was announced. But could these rumor specs actually be real? According to Canon rumors, the R5 Mark II will have a new 61 megapixel BSI sensor, dual Digic X processor. So X is gonna give it to you 2 times. X is gonna give, he's still giving it to you no times because he's already dead. Anyway, it will shoot 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter with focus tracking and 12 frames a second with the mechanical. Use the same IBIS as before, have high resolution pixel shift mode. It will have 2, 4, and 8 time digital teleconverter, which is just stupid. Crop after the fact, you lazy asses, if you really want to do that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
It will use dual pixel CMOS 2, record 8K 60 internally, have a new overheat prevention design, get at least 40 minutes of 8K record time and 60 minutes with 4K, have dual CF Express Type B slots, dual USB-C ports, 9.44 million .EVF, new vari-angle LCD monitor, and possibly launch in Q2 of 2023. Jesus, there's a lot to unpack there, because it honestly sounds like a Sony A7 R5. Now, after reading all of these specs, they all seem kind of plausible, but on the flip side, they also sound like a random person's wish list for a future camera, because dual USB-C plugs, dual Digic X processors, I mean, 9.44 million .EVF, I don't know. Though I haven't heard anything about the R5 replacement at this point, if some of these specs are true, the R5 Mark II might be one heck of an update. What do you think? Let me know down below. And there you have it, that's your photo news fix this time around. To check out the last fix, go ahead and click on the screen right here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.